Hey, and thank you for tuning into Not Okay, It's Okay podcast. This is your safe space to not be okay and share about it. We offer our truth and support for all of you out there attempting to balance the work, life, family, and kind of finding yourself on the daily.
Absolutely.
Take it away. Rashida, who are you?
So I am so excited to be here and sitting with you, Miss Hilary.
Thank you.
Yes, queen. Okay, so I'm Rashida. I'm a licensed clinical alcohol and drug counselor. I'm also have a master's in education. And I've been in the mental health, substance abuse field since 2005. I feel a little nervous saying that. It's like I'm
square those shoulders back and say it.
Be brave.
Yeah.
But since 2005, and currently work in a partial care adult program with individuals who have severe persistent mental illness. I'm also a psychiatric screener at a local inner city hospital. We get down there. I'm also a wife, have a loving husband, stay-at-home dad. Shout out to Mr.
Shout out to the dads out there.
Shout out dads and moms who are dads too. I have 4 children too that are on the autism spectrum. So that's challenging. It's my mission to advocate for those with special needs, children and young adults. That's my passion.
Yes.
So, Miss Hilary.
About me.
About you.
Okay, so a little about me. I am a wife, a mom, a therapist. I am a licensed professional counselor, an LPC, super connector. I had 2 careers prior to this one, and then my own experience with anxiety in my 20s kind of changed my trajectory. And I went back to school. I went back to Seton Hall for my master's in counseling. And I also worked at the partial care that you are at. And
shout out to partial.
Yeah. And met the most incredible people, both the clinicians there and the people there. And from there, I am now one of the founding people behind the Empowerment Center. Me, along with my partners, Robin and Kristen. Shout out to my ladies.
Shout out.
And and then here we are. So that's me. And so us, Rashida. Go ahead.
How did we come to be? Well, first of all, I feel like Hilary paved the way for me. Because she wasn't there working at the partial care program when I came there. When I came there, I actually took her seat.
You did. You slid right onto my desk.
I slid into her desk, and everybody would be like, Hilary was there, and Hilary energy, Hilary and Hilary and Hilary. And I'm like, who is this Hilary? And then I started getting people saying, you remind me of Hilary. Like your energy, your no holds barred. We don't know what's going to come out of your mouth.
True. Guilty as charged.
And I was like, I have to meet this Hilary, but I never thought I would.
And the same time that was happening to you, when I was in the building, it was, do you know Rashida? You are so much alike. Like the 2 of you are twins. I swear. And so I was always like, who is this Rashida chick? Like, who is she? I need to meet her. And sure enough.
Yeah. At a, what was it? Holiday function.
Oh, at Gina's house.
At Gina's house.
Brunch. Hi, Gina.
Hey, Gina. Shout out. And then we met and we danced at the end. And all was history.
We did. So that's us.
That is us. And let's talk about the not okay, it's okay. You know, what made us decide to kind of do this podcast? And
well, I mean, for me, mental health is something that I am passionate about on a personal level and a professional level. When anxiety kind of hit me, it was like a bag of rocks and I went down, and there was a really long time that I didn't know if I was ever going to be myself again. And so that, coupled with then getting into therapy and like finding out, you have to process and share your feelings.
Right.
What is that? So then that kind of fueled my passion to want to normalize mental health. Our brain runs the show. And so for me, I've always wanted to kind of find that space to do that. And then you hit me up and you were like, hey.
It was a simple text. I was like, what's the worst that she can say? No, or no.
Absolutely
When
not.
she said, yeah, I was like, oh, we're doing this.
Yeah. And so we're doing this. We're doing this. Ready or not, here we come. We're doing this.
Yeah. And I just wanted to add, like, for so long for myself, I felt that I had to wear a mask and be the smiley person, even though inside I was feeling just so much anxiety and even a little bit of sadness. Again, with, having, my children and the extra needs that they have, I felt alone, and I felt that that it wasn't okay to just come in and say, yeah, I'm just not okay today.
Right. Because what do people, when they ask you, are you okay?
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, I'm fine.
Because they don't really want me to purge. They really don't want me to
Well, but maybe they do. Maybe we think that they don't. Maybe there's this stigma on purging, on leaning on our support systems. But really, that's why we have supports in place.
You're absolutely right.
So, I can speak on that too, where, you feel like you have to put this mask on, and I've put the mask on too many times to admit, but I'll admit it. And now my work has been, challenging myself to not put the mask on, to not say, oh, everything's fine, everything's great, when darn well that it's not.
Right. So. And I know I had posted on my Facebook page, like how much it was like this like pile of papers of like how much do people really know about you? And it's like this, but then how much, is really going on, and it's like this, and that's what I feel,
So what do you think? I mean, do you think it's the fear of judgment? Do you think, we don't want to put our truths out there because we're worried about, the judgment coming our way, or that we think the story we're telling ourselves is if I do really put it all out there, someone's going to judge me or think I'm less than.
Yeah. How is it going to be received? And then sometimes I think people feel like they're a burden. Like if I share this with them, they already got their own stuff going on. And again, that's the story.
Yeah. The story we tell ourselves, which is usually not the truth and always based in fear.
Absolutely.
Right. So we got to check ourselves there. We
have to check ourselves real quick.
That's quick. Right. That is right.
So, going into, what we're talking about today, we're talking about stress because a lot of things have been going on in the world.
We are globally stressed. Let us just say it right now. We are and have been in this heightened state of stress since mid-March, especially here in, New Jersey, New York,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, we've, had to deal with like, this pandemic, the anxiety of, can't stand too close to someone, can't now go here, can't go there, not being able to see family and friends. And then Zoom has become like, I think, the new norm,
Yeah, Zoom is the new norm. However, it's connective, but we're still not getting that oxytocin exchange, the feel good stuff that we're getting right now. This feels so good.
It does. I feel like a heat.
This is my first time out. Yeah. Like I have not, we spoke before. I was like, I don't know that I'm going to fit into my jeans. I don't know if I am going to be able to put makeup on. Do I know how to curl my hair? Like,
and you said that to me, and I said to myself, I think I've been wearing the same jeans for the last 3 days, but that's like a mommy mode, right?
They get better. Right? I think that's a human.
I feel like it stretches it out a little bit. If you wear it like 3 days in a row.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. As long as they're not walking around the room without you, it's all good. Jeans don't need to be washed all
Let's
the
just
time.
Smell and see. It smells pretty good. We'll put a little powder in there. It'll be fine. We're just so silly.
Of course. That's part of it. So stress.
Yeah. Stress.
So how are you doing with all the stress?
It's been a challenge, again, with having kids and, our kids have been, out of school. We've been doing that virtual thing.
All normalcy has been yanked away from them. Their socialization, their schedule.
And then, having to explain to them, why am I not in school?
Yeah.
But it was absolutely challenging because with the special needs on top of it, I was a speech therapist, an occupational therapist, a special ed teacher, a physical therapist, and they didn't want to, we're mommy,
all of a sudden you're all of these, you wear a lot of hats to begin with, but now you had 5 more hats
Yeah.
to wear.
Yeah. And so that was very stressful on top of
Mhm.
like going to work and,
Sure.
and even relationship stress,
Absolutely.
you know, of like, oh, I'm home with you. Like, we're going
Mhm.
to go somewhere.
Right. I want to go somewhere. I want to just get another room and not be with you. Yeah. So to kind of normalize all of that.
Yeah.
My husband is a New York City school teacher,
Mhm.
and I got lucky in that I am a therapist, and thank goodness for, the virtual platforms,
Yes.
because
yes.
I don't know what I would have done if I could not connect with my clients.
Yep.
So that, and, being able to work and
Yeah.
bring home money as well, because that's a huge stressor right now for people who
Absolutely.
are out of work.
So many people, are out of work, not
Mhm.
knowing how they're going to pay,
Mhm.
their rent or their mortgage,
Yeah.
Or medical bills,
Mhm.
or,
Right.
all the extra things that they need for the kids.
Absolutely. So it's this uncertainty as well.
Yeah.
That is, again, heightening our stress levels. We
Right.
are just in this heightened state. So I guess what we want to bring to the table a little bit too, and we'll continue to, share about our stressors and stuff, is this. It's called the stress vulnerability model. And what that is it's really the why behind the way we show up under stress, right? That's kind of how I've conceptualized it. And so for me, the basic is your stressors go up, so do your symptoms. And there's that congruence there, right? So prior to the pandemic, if a client came into my office and they were like, I don't know, I've been super anxious lately. I'm not sleeping. I'm overeating. I'm over shopping. I'm drinking more, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I'd say, all right, well, what's going on with you? Where's the stress? And if there was no stress, we'd be like, all right, we got to, take a closer look at this. But now, we look for the congruence between the stress and the symptoms, because it's a way to just normalize it.
Yeah.
Hey, my stressors are up. Yeah, your stressors are up. We're in a global pandemic. Normal life as we know it is just not around. It's not happening right now.
Yeah.
So it makes sense, right? Heightened stress. So it makes sense that you are more anxious, that you're not sleeping, that you're drinking more, that you're fighting,
more irritable, angry,
no distress tolerance. Why am I screaming all the? Well,
Yeah.
because you're stressed.
Right. And I look at it like taking a bucket, right? You have this bucket and you fill it with water and it's overflowing, and that's like just the layers and layers of stress that, people are dealing with right now.
Absolutely.
And just trying to contain that. And the water just keeps flowing and flowing, but you're right. Having to figure out, what is going on? Why am I reacting in such a way?
Right. Why am I reacting versus responding?
Yes.
Where I'm normally at when I'm in that emotional, rational mind balance.
Yeah. And then, and for those who may not know, like, when, what is emotional mind and what is rational mind?
Speak on it, girl.
For me, like an example would be like, just being emotionally charged about something, and instead of thinking it through, like my husband will say, for example, didn't take the garbage out, and I'm like screaming and raging, and which that does nothing.
It doesn't?
Yes, it does nothing. It's just like, why do I keep doing that?
Noted.
Emotional, and then the rational part of me is just like, okay, like that's not going to solve the problem. Let's kind of like sit down and kind of talk when I'm less charged.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I, just to add to that, the way I see the emotional rational, I think of it as a scale, and we have to balance our scale.
Yeah.
We need our emotional mind. We need our rational mind. And our scale is never going to be 50-50. It's your scale.
Yep.
So I also, you get into a car, right? You don't just throw it into park to drive and go.
Right.
You adjust your mirror. You see if anyone messed with your seat.
Right.
So that's the kind of, if you know that you just got off a phone call and you are like really charged up, angry, upset, sad. Okay, I need to we're highly emotional. I need to pull in the rational and just balance that out so we can show up in a way that isn't this reactionary. It's more of that responding.
I like, in addictions, we talk about halt, right? That could be triggers for, substance, like hungry, angry, lonely, and tired. So I kind of like take note to that. Like if I'm tired, forget about it. Like I'm going to be extra irritable.
Why would you ever be tired, Rashida?
I don't know. So I had a conversation with somebody that I'm like, I get 3 hours of sleep. They're like, really? I get 10. And I'm like, that sucks.
Yeah. No, but that's right. And so also, I guess while we're on the topic of addictions, we talk about stress,
Yes.
right? We
Yes.
talk about symptoms, and symptoms for a lot of people are substance use.
Yeah. And I mean, let's talk about it. Like, I've noticed, in since the pandemic started in March, when we had like the first reports of this virus.
Yeah.
2 months prior, there was a decline in, substance related, like opioid related overdoses, right? Because we've been battling that for years and losing so many lives. So it actually had declined.
Wow.
They said it was a decline in 2019, which was like, oh my gosh, this is great. Like we're doing something right, and from March to May, there was now this uprise in overdoses.
Sure.
And people wonder like, whoa, I don't understand. Why is that? Well, the reason is isolation, right? Addiction, it wants you to isolate, and so you have the perfect storm when you have people having to isolate, not having their program, boredom, not knowing what to do with themselves, because even in a substance use disorder world, structure is very important.
Absolutely.
Time is very important.
Absolutely.
Idle time is not good.
Right. And having the healthy coping skills as opposed to the negative coping skills, which are, use.
Right. And then we're looking at like individuals who, may have, drank on occasion, and then this COVID happened, and now people are like a bottle a day.
I mean, I'm seeing the memes, and this is not judging, but everything's about alcohol and, parenting, mommying, fathering alcohol, and I think I saw one about the school supply list for the year.
Ooh, tell me about that one.
Well, yeah, it was something like it wasn't crayons and notebooks. It was like vodka and mixers, because and so, I mean, funny, not funny.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I did just recently see a meme where they have like this new toy out. It's the working mom with her laptop on the cell phone. The baby's got this like mean face crying. And then there's like 2 bottles of wine, Yeah.
Well, so that's coping.
Yeah. And we have to like, just kind of like be mindful of that,
Sure.
Because, again, those people who, again, could drink on occasion may come out of this with some kind of substance use disorder.
Sure.
It's
all
so
heightened.
Important.
So tell me, how do you show up under stress?
How do I show up under stress?
You're a yeller. Do you yell?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do.
Okay.
I yell. And then there's moments where I like just like hold it in, and then it just
put
comes
the mask
out.
on.
Yeah. Then it just then it comes out. That garbage thing. Me and my husband is just like I could take it for a day, maybe 2 days. Let that third day come, and I'm like,
okay.
So it's a challenge to just kind of reel it in. Because again, that's not helping the situation. A lot of times, when you're screaming and yelling, the other person just shuts down.
Right.
So that of communication.
Is they're on the defensive. It's power struggle.
Absolutely.
They shut down. Right.
What about you and stress?
So I go right to a place of anxiety immediately. My distress tolerance for anything just shoots way down.
Okay.
I guess I'm a yeller. I mean, I'm sure my husband would say I'm a yeller, and so would my son, sadly. And I've caught myself recently, because I'm also proud to say that I am a therapist in therapy, and I will continue to be in therapy forever because I just believe in the process.
Yeah.
And I really had to take accountability with my husband and with my son. And with my son, it was like 2 weeks ago. We have chickens randomly. We have chickens in our backyard, and we're having some work done in the house in the backyard. And so the chickens aren't fenced in. And so they kept getting out and going into my neighbor's yard, and nobody else was stressed about it. My neighbors laughed. Like, it was funny. I'd get a call from one neighbor, hey, your chickens are out. And I would just have this overwhelming stress. Why? Because I'm all stress vulnerability model.
Yeah.
I'm already stressed because of this pandemic. Right. And now, so I show up in this way, and my son came out anxious, and my bad. So yeah, I yell, I don't sleep, and I probably eat a little too much.
I'm with you on the eating.
Yeah, which is a real thing. They're called, there's the COVID-19 joke too.
Yeah.
Which people are putting on that COVID-19 pound wise. So that's how I show up. How are you de-stressing? How are you coping with the stress? What coping skills,
I think for me, it's like identifying that I am stressed. I'm such a busy person, one job to the next job, to the next job, to the next job, that I find that it eventually like catches up to me.
Yeah.
So I need to so I've learned to try to slow down, pace myself, and find just little pockets of time,
time to do what?
So I didn't add this. I run a parent support group, a special needs parent support group.
Shout it out. Yes, you do.
Shout out to my ladies at the special needs parent support group, Monday night, 7:30 to 9.
Yep.
Check it out. And we always close with self-care. What is one thing you're going to do for yourself in the next week? And each day I try to find 5 or 10 minutes. So that may be me. My husband doesn't know this.
Earmuffs. Go ahead.
But I'll leave work and I will go and sit in Chipotle's parking lot and eat Chipotle. I can mindfully eat Chipotle.
I love how you say that.
Yeah. That's not how you say it?
Say it again.
Chipotle.
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 Right? Am I right? Yeah.
You're as Chipotle. Yes.
Chipotle.
Yes.
My mother-in-law. Hi. She says that. Chipotle.
Chipotle.
I don't mean to call you out. I just...
Someone else called me out about it.
I'm your friend, so I just don't want you to. So you go and you eat yourself some Chipotle.
At Chipotle.
Uh-huh.
Oh, it sounds so
It
bizarre.
does sound funny. That's okay.
Yeah, and I just sit there and I mindfully eat it. I take my time and I just enjoy it.
Okay.
And I just, look at the cars driving by.
People watch.
Yeah, because when we're working, we're just so caught up in the day.
Good for you.
And that's one thing that I do.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
What about you?
So for me, I am a meditator. I'm trained in transcendental meditation, but I have really fallen off my practice. So I've been more mindful to get back to it, especially in this pandemic. Yeah. And, that's another thing that has come up, in sessions with clients. It's the how do I cope? What do I do? So often we're kind of coming up with lists of things that I've wanted to do and haven't had the time. So for me, it's been kind of getting back in touch with my creative, because I am a creative person. Nice. So I actually started playing the piano again.
Okay. So you're linguistically inclined?
Musically, and I'll sing and it's been great. So I do that, and I'm just trying to get out in nature, get outside, connect, be in the middle of trees. I know I look a little high maintenance, but I really do like to just, I do like to just be out and, go fishing with my, my husband, my son, just get into, get down with Mother Earth a little bit.
I need to work on that.
Okay. I'm learning.
I'm learning.
Listen, it's a process.
I don't like bugs. So that's a big barrier.
Well, see, so my son loves bugs, and being, he's been handing me worms and bugs since he's 2 years old. So now it's we have a lizard that eats crickets. I am so desensitized. I will be walking outside and see a cricket and scoop it up, hold it in my hand, open the door and go drop it in the tank. Yeah. So bugs, Yeah.
My daughter loves ants.
Aww.
Oh, she's
That's
the
such a cute thing to love.
Yeah, she has a whole pile of deceased ants in the living room.
Aww. I think I started my love for ants too, my appreciation for them during Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Oh, okay.
I mean, the ant was a friend. They were so scared, right? Didn't it turn out to be a really good ant? Or is that no?
There were so many of them. Honey, I Shrunk the Kid. Which one? One?
I think it was the first one with the ant in the grass.
That was a good show.
All right, so maybe we'll talk about movies someday.
Yeah, we have to.
So going back to stress. So now that we've kind of moved through, we are not in this, the pandemic was really difficult in March, April, May, when the numbers were really scary and we were losing people and right. And now clients are kind of saying, you know, I don't get why I'm still stressed. And so we've had to keep normalizing because we're very much still in it. We're very much in the heightened state, you know, so kind of validating that it's still this global stress happening for all of us. Yeah. And I don't think anyone is immune to it.
And there's no, like, you know, I remember, you know, being in this training, and there was a mention of, like, with 9/11,
yes,
you know, there was a beginning, middle, end.
Yes, actually,
and with this, we don't know that there's going to be an end, because they talk about the second wave, and you know, it's that just kind of like not
the uncertainty.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So in that mass casualty event, right, there's the beginning and a rebuild. Yeah. So we're not there yet. There's just been this beginning. And so now we've kind of shifted into this place of uncertainty. Like September is coming. Kids are supposed to go back to school. That was parents like saving grace. It's the constant, like my children will be in school. They will be safe. I can go to work, but we don't even have that.
I just want to add to that.
Please.
First day of school, you know, I'm one of those parents who are there on time, maybe 5 or 10 minutes before, you know, like take my child, take them.
I'm ready.
Them. They're ready.
Wonderful. I love them, but
teachers, you've had your whole summer off, hopefully. It's now your time.
Absolutely.
And now, you know, they're doing like this hybrid kind of thing where they go to school some days and then they have virtual the next.
Yeah. And so and just to mention too, you know, stress isn't, you know, only for adults. Like these kids are going through it as well. And to not have this normalcy, to not have the socialization, it's really, so, you know, parents out there, I know it's really, really hard, and we are all experiencing such stress and uncertainty, but just, you know, recognize that they're just little humans, and they have had all, you know, just all sense of normalcy yanked out from them, and walking around in masks, and, you know, just kind of processing with them, and just, you know, maybe yelling a little less, or, you know, just recognizing that they're going through it too.
You know, my 6-year-old the other day, you know, I told him, you know, we're going to be doing the virtual. We're going to start out virtual when the school year starts. And he's like, yeah, Mommy, because I don't want to go back to school.
Same.
And, you know, I started thinking, like, you know, what does that mean? Right. You know, he doesn't want to go back to school. Is he become so comfortable with being home? Or, you know, and then what will that be like when, you know?
Were you able to get in there with a little motivational interviewing and kind of getting some answers?
He was saying that he, you know, my teacher doesn't like me, and, you know, the other kids don't like me, and I'm not sure how much
of the uncertainty.
So have to investigate that. But, you know, it was just like, he loves school, you know, like he would be the first one, got to get up, want to go to school, get the book bag, let's go. If he was sick, I still want to go to school.
So look at that 180. So it's sad. It's sad. And again, that adds to our stress. We are, you know, just to talk about the brain for a minute, like our amygdalas are engaged, you know, we are in this fight or flight. Our cortisol levels are through the roof, and we're in this state of panic. We're in this state of fear. And it's a stress state. And to recognize that we're all stressed, but everybody shows up differently in stress. So, you know, I know there's the Be Kind movements, and I'm so about that, you know, and to just recognize that, you know, the person at the Dunkin' Donuts drive-thru who is making you your coffee is stressed. You know, the people that are riding next to you in the cars, they're stressed. The teachers that have to go back to school, they're stressed. So, and everyone is out there doing the best they can with what they know.
Absolutely. I agree, you know, and just, again, normalizing that and just knowing that you are not alone.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, there's that universality.
You are not alone.
Yeah.
You know,
so in terms of now stress and moving forward, so we're under stress. How do we communicate our needs? Because we have to communicate our needs to our partners. Who are our support systems? What support systems do we have in place? If we don't have any, let's get some in place.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, I think about, like, you know, addiction. You know, when we think about addiction, the opposite of addiction is connection, right? And connection is so important.
Sure is.
And it's, for me, it's very important, to just find time with my husband, even if it's just 5 minutes, finding that time, or even when I go to work, Robin, shout out to Robin Heisen,
Hey.
like when she's in the office, it's nice to be able to socially distance, but be able to speak to someone, and just kind of like,
yeah.
Yeah,
and that actually makes me think of just how difficult this sheltering in place has been for people who are sheltering in place alone.
Yes.
It has really, there's this dialogue that's been happening. Yes, we needed to do this. And New Jersey and New York, we did such an incredible job, at doing that. But so many people are suffering.
Yes.
More symptomatic, it's the whole now re-emergence into society again, even with the masks on. That's going to take some, there's the anxiety, the social anxiety that comes with that too. Like, what does it look like? Like, it's still, we can go shopping, we can go to ShopRite, we can go to Home Depot, but we're in these masks. And do I really need to go? Like, it's all this, just really tough stuff.
It's when it comes down to it's a loss, right? Because you think about it. Just yesterday, I was sitting in Red Lobster eating and enjoying and talking to people and, standing right up on somebody and they're like, whatever, and then it hits and then it's just like, what happened? Now we're in masks. Now we can't stand close to each other.
Yeah. So we are grieving.
Yeah.
We are grieving.
Absolutely.
We have had a loss. We are grieving. Other than the lives that have been lost, of course, we are grieving our normalcy.
Yeah.
We're grieving just being able to, like, Target is like my happy place. If I get Target, yes, is my happy place. Like, if I get to go there for 45 minutes of quiet myself and peruse and look, that, and Wegmans, like, I'm a happy girl. But you can't, it's not that. It's like, I have to go in. Do they have toilet paper? Get that toilet paper. Like, just really, it's just, so we're grieving normalcy. And to remember that, and I think, the biggest takeaway for me for the stress vulnerability model, just to kind of pull it back to that, is to be able to provide anyone listening out there, with just this concrete knowledge base of saying, listen, yes, we're going to validate you. We're empathizing with you. We've been doing that for quite some time here, but it makes sense. If you are not yourself, if you are showing up in a way that is just not you, it's not your best, it makes sense because we have this congruence between stress and symptoms. And so if we can normalize that for ourselves and maybe kind of take a deep breath and be able to normalize it for the next guy, and just in terms of being kind and not being so quick to, attack somebody else, for, there's this whole mask stuff, wearing a mask, not wearing a mask. Like, for some people, it's really hard to wear a mask, anxiety, they can't breathe, whatever it is.
Special needs,
just, of course. Absolutely. So to just really be mindful of the fact that we're all struggling.
And I think about, like, it's okay if you have an off day, there's gonna be moments where I'm going to, like, yell, and then I'm like, oh, but being able to rein it back in,
and not beat yourself up over it.
And don't beat yourself up over it.
That's a huge challenge.
Especially when you have kids, like, it's like, oh, I yelled at, Johnny, and I shouldn't have done that. And I'm a bad mom. We always go to that place.
Please. I work on that every Thursday morning at 10:15. It's true, because we go to that place because ultimately we do want to put our best foot forward.
Right.
And especially I think as therapists too, we have this, like people are watching how you're parenting and kind of how you show up in the world. So I think there's that added.
We're human, we're human.
So human.
We're human. We just walked up 5 flights of stairs.
Oh yeah, we did. We got some cardio in. Yeah, absolutely. So social supports, reaching out.
Yeah, and it may not be your family. Like for some people, their family is just a trigger for them. Like it's
sometimes the word family and support they just don't belong in the same sentence.
Only on the holidays.
Right.
But some people, their spirituality is what they thrive on, or maybe even even AA, NA, those mutual support groups,
Sure.
Gamblers Anonymous, Eaters Anonymous, things like that,
Sure.
and you can do it on, in your home. Like
Absolutely.
And
you could be connecting with friends, schedule a Zoom happy hour, and also to challenge yourself to reconnect. When this pandemic first started, I was talking to my clients and working things out for myself as well, because we were, in crisis mode at that point. We were just dealing with crises. And I remember saying, wow, if this is the universal pause button that has been pressed on us all, if we go into it, if we stay in it with as much intention to connect with self and kind of connect to those parts of self that immediately get cut off by, just the spinning of the real world, by working, by doing all this stuff, running around to, which is like why I brought up the piano.
And I think about also too for myself, and the gratitude, right? That my family is healthy during,
absolutely,
they're healthy.
Yes, we have a job. We're working.
Yes,
absolutely,
still have a job. I get to get up in the morning. I get to go to work. I get to, see my kids and smile and kiss them, and I get to.
Yes,
which is so powerful.
Absolutely agreed. And another thing just I wanted to touch upon is communicating our needs. It's okay to ask for help.
Oh, absolutely.
It's necessary to ask for help.
Yeah.
And some of us are not used to that. Some of us just were kind of raised to believe that we need to do it all ourselves.
Lone soldiers.
Right. And so that's not the case. And that's not the truth. We're humans and we want to connect.
Yeah. And again, it's that story. We think that, again, we may be a burden or they got enough on their plate.
Right.
Or
the story I'm telling myself is this person doesn't want to hear from me.
They don't want to hear this.
Right. But that's not the truth.
But the reality is, it's just like, if I call you, people are like, girl, why did you tell me?
Absolutely. And are you there when people call you?
All the time.
So it's that two-way street thing.
Yeah.
The communication, right? Am I being a good friend if I'm just listening all the time and taking in and holding space for them? Am I being a good friend if I'm not returning that?
Right.
We're not allowing them to give that to
space
us.
For us. Yeah, absolutely.
So asking for what you need.
Yeah.
Our wants and needs matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We matter, you know, and, we, going back to, some of this, like, taking care of ourselves during this time and the self-care, I saw something that said self-care is a necessity.
Yes, it is.
It is a necessity. It's not being selfish.
Oh, that's going to be a whole other episode for us, Rashida.
Yeah.
Self-care is not selfish.
It is not selfish. It's a necessity.
Yet somewhere along the line, we have been programmed to believe that it is.
Yeah.
Huh.
I wonder why that is.
Because it just is. It's like the book. Have you read Untamed yet?
So I have not, but I've heard wonderful things about it. I'm not a reader of books. I'm more the audio. So
I actually listened to this one on audio. Oh. Yeah, it was really great because who has time to read a book right now?
But I've heard absolute wonderful things about it.
Yeah, it was wonderful. And just in that whole Untamed thing, it's how we're born into this world, untamed. But like by the time we get to age 10, we have all of these like societal pressures and stuff, and it just kind of tames us and dulls our
our spark, our beauty. Our beauty.
Yeah,
it's we don't know how this road is going to continue to unfold.
Right. Uncertainty. Yes.
Right, there's that uncertainty.
Yes.
Maybe bumpy in some spots.
Oh, it's bumpy, all right. I'm ready for smooth. It's been pretty bumpy.
Yeah, but I think that, if we can just, again, have some self-compassion.
Yes.
Not be hard on ourselves, and just try to find the positives out of what can I get out of now? Yeah. Because all we have is now. Because if we if we go back to, why did this happen in the past? Then that's going to make us anxious, right?
Of course.
And depressed. And then if we look too far into the future,
there's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah, and there's nothing we can do about it, right? We're just feeding those symptoms, and so we just have to try our hardest to just kind of stay in the moment, which is a challenge.
Of course it is, but mindfulness, using your senses. Yeah. What do I see? What do I smell? What do I taste? What do I feel?
Yeah.
So some practical solutions for stress would be, like you said, taking a moment, You know,
a moment.
Gina used to call it slices of joy.
Ooh.
Right? Finding those slices of joy in a day. And even if it is attracting that, you know, iced tea that I really, really want because it just, you know, makes me feel good, or the warm beverage experience in the morning, you know, just having those slices of joy in the day. And also to make sure that if you're working from home and staring at a screen all day, get up, take a break, walk around, change your scenery.
Absolutely. And we have to figure out, you know, again, what's feeding into our symptoms. You know, sometimes social media, you know, and the information that's coming
news,
out, can really drive up someone's anxiety,
stress,
right?
And it stresses us out.
A person may need to take a break from it, or, you know,
social media diet.
Absolutely. You know? And so we just have to just kind of just be mindful of, like, you know, what we're taking in, you know, and how is that serving us. I think that was, you know,
big point.
Important. I also was thinking about, like, the locus of control, right? You know, and what we can control as opposed to what we can't control. Right.
So what's in our hands, what's out of our hands. So I do this with a lot of my clients. I did this when we worked, where we worked. I would take a piece of paper and they would trace their hands and we would think of something that was stressing them out. And so I'd say, okay, trace your hand. And now everything that is in your hands, right? Anything that you can control, draw it in your hands, write it down. So like if we were planning an outdoor wedding, right? And I'm so nervous, the weather. Well, you know what? The weather goes outside of your hands because that's on Mother Nature. We have no control. You could stress about it, but you're not going to change it.
Right.
What's in your hands? Okay, well, I could rent a tent. And be prepared in case it rains. You know, I can do all of these things. And so to have that visual, it really helps. It you know, there are just things we can't control.
And that's, like, important during this time is let me put my energy into thinking about and focusing on what is within my control.
Yes.
You know, as opposed to what's not in my control, because that's going to create a lot of frustration and resistance and anxiety.
Yes.
Right. So it's very important.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Good.
So I think we should get on to our wonton container. Does everybody see the wonton container?
Yes. So this is our bowl of no shame.
Bowl of no shame.
So Rashida, you made these, and I really did my best. I did cheat a little bit. I read some of them, so I'm going to let you pick. You go first.
So the bowl of no shame are just questions that, you know, silly random questions just to get to know us, that we're going to answer. We don't know, you know, what questions going to come out, and we're going to answer as truthfully.
I may or may not have folded one that I didn't want. No,
oh my God.
I really didn't. That one was too big.
But they're not folded because now I can see.
Well, don't look. Don't look, pick.
Don't look, pick.
Oh, you looked.
Well, I looked at a couple. Okay. So this one says decaf or caffeinated coffee.
Oh.
You want to start?
Oh, for me?
Oh, wait. Is this
decaf? You don't want to see this on caffeine. Yeah, I am a strict decaf girl.
Really?
Oh, seriously? You know my energy. This on caffeine? Not a good mix. What about you?
It has to have caffeine. I just feel like, what is coffee without caffeine?
I think it's a nice warm beverage experience in the morning. I like it.
I noticed the difference. Like there's a big difference.
I would be, no. Okay. So caffeine,
but we have the same energy. So like, I know that I start jumping, you know, like,
if I jump, it makes me anxious. I'm like, why am I jumping? Am I going to have a heart attack? And then I go there. So
oh, wow. I'm like, oh my God, this is done. Oh, no. I can do this. I can do that.
I would be like, I can't do this. Something's not right. I'm not feeling well. I'm going to die at 43. Yeah, no. Okay, I'm picking.
Okay.
Oh, eating. This is a good one. Eating apples with the skin or bare? I feel like we have to take these out.
That's a deep question because you know why it's deep? Because there's like so many different kinds of apples, right?
Okay, so green apple.
How did you know? You
were going
feeling
green.
My energy. Okay. Green apple, prefer without skin.
Why? Tart?
I don't know, because I just feel like there's just too much skin.
Okay.
You know?
So I will eat apples with the skin on because I was always told, and it might not even be the truth, but I guess I was scared straight into eating apples with the skin on because that's where all the nutrients are supposed to be.
In the skin.
In the skin. That's what I heard. I don't know. I'm gonna have to Google it. I feel like yeah.
Viewers, if anybody want to just give us the facts, please, go on our Facebook page and just let us know. If
I'm going to Google it myself, and then I'm going to call my parents out for lying to me my whole life.
But I get weirded out with apples. Like if it's dented, if it's brown, if it's got a little spot, I gotta I gotta dig it out. It's just doesn't sit well with me.
Okay. Well, that's kind of like with a potato too. You gotta dig that out.
Oh yeah. I'll wait till it gets so old and it's got all these things, and I'm just it's still good. It's still good.
Yeah, you just move that off. That's okay. Listen,
it's still good.
Absolutely.
So you cut it and it's all brown.
Yeah, then you got to cut the brown away.
Of course.
And you keep on going.
You get what you just get what you need to get.
Exactly. Good. So we did it.
We did.
I was really nervous. Were you nervous?
I was nervous too, but I felt like we just started talking, and it just was
Ming saying, what? Yeah. All right. Thank you. We appreciate that. Yeah. Listen, because like we said in the beginning, we're a work in progress. The two of us feel passionate about getting out there and at least, utilizing our knowledge and our truth to, help the next guy. So, we're not perfect. There's no such thing. We're not, polished yet. We're works in progress. And we have a lot of great topics coming your way.
Yes. Tune in next week. Next Wednesday, we're going to be Facebook Live in it. And
as soon as we leave here, I'm going to be booking the studio again.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Ming's got the finger up. He's like,
yeah. So
we're going to talk about all anxiety.
All things anxiety.
Because I know I drip in anxiety.
Oh, seriously? My middle name maybe my first name should have been anxiety, but working through it, and here I sit.
Would you have spelled anxiety like that, or would you have given it some kind of fancy kind of thing?
Maybe I would do the A and X. I don't know. I would have had to do something like ang. I don't know. I'll think about it. Maybe that'll be my avatar. Maybe I'll have a cartoon of myself.
I just think that would be so cool.
Queen Anxiety.
Queen
Anxiety. She knows how to manage it.
She does. Anxiety, please come down to
it. It doesn't take her down anymore the way it used to.
No.
Or whatever.
We're going to stomp on that.
Right. We stomp that bully. Tune in next week when we will be talking about anxiety.
Yeah. Let's talk about how it
normalizing it, because we all have
normalize it, and just kind of how it surface itself in our body.
Practical solutions on how to overcome it and work on it.
Absolutely.
Cool.
And we want you to definitely like our page. Not okay, it's okay. Please
Rashida's been working really hard on that.
I am not a social media person. I have tried my best.
I am, but I'm a scroller. I don't engage in all of this craziness out there.
Yes, and please also find us on IG, on our Instagram page. Not okay, it's okay.
Look at you, you're so cool. Find us on IG.
Well,
on the gram,
IG. Well, that's someone young told me that.
Yeah.
Oh,
they told me. We got to keep it current.
They said don't say Instagram, say IG. And I was like, okay, IG.
Okay. Awesome.
See us on IG.
Yeah, and you can also check out the Empowerment Center, New Jersey.
Empowerment Center,
NJ, and Unapologetically Hilary on IG.
IG.
Yeah.
Yes.
So cool.
Yeah. So we would love to hear from you. So again,
any topics you might want to talk about, hear about, if you have questions for us, we will do our best to answer that, both professionally and personally. We're kind of putting it out there and kind of not afraid to do so.
And if you want to add to the bowl of no shame, please do.
Yeah, today's questions were kind of meh. But I think we had to start out slow, apples and decaf. I don't know. I saw another one about toenails and boogers.
I like the one with lick your fingers after eating barbecue wings or use a napkin.
Lick your fingers, then use a napkin, right? I don't know. Was I not supposed to answer that?
I don't know.
I did. Well, now you know. No shame. No shame. Cool.
All right.
So next week.
So we'll definitely see you next week, same time. Again, like us on our page, IG, all that good stuff.
IG,
FB. On FB and IG. You hear?
You heard?
You heard? Oh,
amazing.
Can you do that?
Yeah. Oh, what was that called?
I don't know. It was
I don't know, but I always take dance breaks. And now, I mean, we're not working in the office, but me and my partner, Kristen, we will meet like between clients and dance break.
I love
because that is
break.
also self-care and necessary with stress.
Music and movement. And get moving, everybody. Get moving.
I will,
you know, if
Rashida,
you're at your desk and you're just been at your desk all day, you need to get up and move. Move.
Move.
Get out the way. Get out the way. Get out the way.
Ludicrous, right? Ludicrous.
Yes.
I used to do that in the morning when my husband used to leave for work really early. He would get out and I would be like, move. Get out the way. And I would just like X out on the bed. I'd be so happy.
That.
Anyway, we are.
So we're out of time.
We did it.
We did it.
Ming's going to do our outro. Extra.
See you next week, guys.
Amazing. Thanks.
Bye.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks, Ming.